welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time video. I've never actually done a story time, so we'll just see how this goes. The last few months, actually the last couple of years, have been pretty crazy for our family, financially and everything. We had a baby, like all these things have happened, and I just kind of wanted to tell you guys about them. Here recently, we've really been seeing God's hand in our life and the blessings that He has in store for us. I just think that whenever there are good things happening in your life, you should share them because we need more good in the world. Am I right? I don't really know where exactly to start, so this story might kind of be all over the place. Also, don't mind Emmett. He's probably going to be yelling the whole time because, you know what, that's just what toddlers do. So hopefully you don't mind me yelling over him. Anyway, so I think to start, I might just start from the get-go, then try to weave everything in, and hopefully it all makes sense. Kyle and I got married, we had 2 cars. His car was a great car, my car was a beater car. I bought it for $1,500 cash whenever I was like 16 or 17, and that thing lasted me forever until we got married, and then it started to break down on us. We were left with just one car, which was his Scion, which was such a good car. The only problem with it for me was that it was a stick, and I don't know how to drive stick. I, being so stubborn, did not want to learn because every time that a guy has tried to teach me how to drive stick, it's been a guy who just is not good at teaching, and it just put a bad taste in my mouth for standard cars. And I just didn't want to learn. I was like, I do not want to learn how to drive this car, okay? We decided to buy a new car. I decided that we needed to get a new car that wasn't a stick. Where we live is so hilly. It's seriously so hilly, and I was just terrified to learn how to drive this car. So we found this Subaru Outback for a really good price on Craigslist. Our first problem. It looked really nice. And then we went and test drove it, and it was great. It had seat warmers. It was awesome. Hey, can you please be quiet? So we buy the car for $4,500. $45? Yeah. $4,500. As soon as we leave, we can smell burning oil, but we're like, it's fine. No big deal. We just bought this car. It already smells like it's on fire. No problem. Anyway, we get the car home and it's fine. Like, there's no serious issues. We just think, well, maybe they changed the oil and oil got on the engine, and that's why it smells like burning oil. We just kind of swept that under the rug. October comes around. This is around October 2016, and we decide that we want to move to Utah with Kyle's cousin, Caitlin, and her husband, and we were going to share an apartment, and it was going to be so fun. Then we found out we were pregnant, and we're like, oh my gosh, okay, well, are we still going to move? And we're like, heck yeah, let's just move. Well, before we needed to move, we needed to get our tires changed on our car, which we were expecting to be no more than like 500 bucks, you know, for tires. Well, it turns out they had to change something like super big on the car, and it ended up being $1,500. What? So much money. Before that, we decided that we were going to sell the Scion because I didn't want to learn how to drive it, and I was like, well, we already have this Subaru, so let's just sell the Scion. I was so stupid, you guys. Seriously, I was so stupid. I cannot even tell you how stupid I was. I look back and think, wow, I'm an idiot. I convinced my husband to sell his favorite car because I am a trophy wife. Just kidding. Wives, please don't do this. Don't do what I did. And we found out that it was going to be $1,500 to fix our Subaru. We had to use the majority of the money that we made from the Scion just to fix the Subaru. So that left us with hardly any money to move out to Utah. Great start. So anyway, we get out to Utah, and it's fine. Utah was fine. I was just pregnant and hormonal, and I was away from my family, and I hated the job that I was working. I was working for a call center for this essential oil company called Young Living, which I love, but the call center was not for me. Okay, guys, it was not for me. Don't mind me, just breastfeeding my child. Call center just wasn't my thing. And so I was just really depressed. I just wanted to move back. We started out with not much money, and that kind of just stayed. You know, we didn't have much money the whole time we were there. From October until January. January is whenever we decided to move back. We hardly had any money to our name. We decided to move back because we're like, we don't have any money. Let's just go home so our family can help us. We're about to have a baby. Like, this is happening. The only money that we had was money that Kyle made from his band. He was in a band called Kodiak Brigade. They were doing like some tour dates in January, and they made a little bit of money from it. We literally only had that money to get back. So we start to drive, and we're in like somewhere in like Colorado. And let me just rewind for a second. Our car had been like really shaky. It felt like the tires were going to fall off. So before we even moved, we got the tires aligned, we got them balanced, we got new rotors, like we did all this stuff to our car. On our way home, we're in like somewhere in Colorado, and our car just starts shaking. It feels like the tires are about to fall off. We were only going like 40 or 50 miles an hour, and the car was like, and I was like, what is happening? We're freaking out. And so we had to just drive really slow. I remember the car just sounding so loud. It literally sounded like the entire engine was just shaking so bad, and it felt like the tires were going to fall off. And we call Kyle's dad, and he's like, go find the nearest hotel room. Your mom and I will pay for this. So Kyle's parents paid for us to stay in a hotel that night. We had to find the closest mechanic the next morning. And we had to drive like super slow because the tires were gonna fall off of our car. Keep in mind, I'm like 27 weeks pregnant at the time. So that alone is uncomfortable to ride in a car, and then just imagine it shaking really bad. It was crazy, you guys. It was so crazy. But we found the nearest mechanic. I don't even remember what the problem was, but it was $650 to fix, which we obviously didn't have. What are you doing, honey? Mommy's sitting here. This is not nice of you. $650 that we didn't have. And so Kyle's parents so graciously paid for that for us. But we got the car fixed, and we came home, and we made it home with, I think we had like $10 left. Literally 10 bucks to our name. We had nothing. We lived with Kyle's parents for a while. We picked up little jobs here and there to save up our money a little bit. And then Kyle got a job, and we ended up having Emmett in April of 2017. Life was fine for a while. You know, we were living with his parents, and we were trying to get out of some of our debt, and we were just living our best life. A married couple with a kid living with their parents. Come May, after Emmett's first birthday, we decided to move out into our apartment that we're in right now. Life has been just fine. Like, we've just been getting along, you know. I started this YouTube channel just about the time that we moved out. It was actually like the week before we moved out or something. I just wanted it to be kind of fun, and just a way to kind of document Emmett and document our lives and where we're at, so whenever I look back, I can remember this is where we were and everything like that. I bought a camera, like a nice camera, not like super nice. It's just a Rebel T6. Like, it was, I think, like 400 bucks. I wanted to use it for like my YouTube channel and photography for Emmett, and just like recording him and stuff like that. But I didn't really like, I didn't buy it just for my YouTube channel, and so I didn't really think these things through, like if I wanted to do vlogs and stuff like that. So the camera that I have, it's just like too big to do vlogs on, and so I decided, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want this camera. I think it's the Mark Power like G7X, something like that. It's a more compact camera for vlogging and for my YouTube channel. A lot of you YouTubers probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So I decided I wanted to save up and get it. Sorry, my shirt is just giving me a hard time. So anyway, in July, I decided that I wanted to start a photography business and save up for this camera. Come July, I ran a special and I was only charging like 25 bucks for a photo shoot, and I saved up quite a bit of money and I was super excited. But that month we were short on rent. It really sucked, but I had to use all the money that I had made just to pay for rent. That was like super lame, because I was like, oh my gosh, I just worked so hard on top of my other job, because I have another job. I'm like, I worked so hard to save up for this camera, and I had to put all my money into that. Next month, I was like, okay, all of my money is going to go to the camera. That was last month, August. Our car decided that it wanted to suck again. Back at the beginning of summer, we took our car to the Subaru place because the airbag had like a recall on it or whatever, so we had to go get it like replaced and stuff. And they told us, I can't remember exactly what they told us. They said that something was wrong with the car and it was going to be like $3,000 to fix, and we were like, we can't afford that. So we were like, let's just sell it. It had been like overheating and stuff. We didn't really know what was wrong. Turns out we were putting the coolant in the wrong place because we're noobs and we don't know what the heck we're doing. This nice mechanic like helped us out. He didn't make us feel stupid or anything. He just showed us that what we were doing was wrong. We figured out how to put the coolant in because we're noobs. Then the car was like working fine until Kyle started the car one day and it was like shaking really bad. And we're like, what the heck is going on? And it would like settle out. So when you started it, it would shake really bad and then it would like settle out, and we're like, okay, it's fine. Well, that same day, we were driving up a hill somewhere in Branson, like I was telling you, where we live. It's like so hilly, it's so bad. We're driving up a hill, and literally we noticed it smelled funny, and then we looked at the temperature gauge, and it was like super hot. And then all of a sudden, all the coolant and stuff was like spraying everywhere. We're like, what the heck? Like, our car is blowing up. Kyle thankfully pulled into the center turning lane, whatever, and we like jumped out real quick. Thankfully, there was a truck right behind us, and he pulled out in front of us, and then there was a truck right behind him. He pulled out in front of him, and that guy that was right in front of us, he didn't have like tow straps, but the person in front of him had tow straps and gave him the tow straps to tow us into a near parking lot. Those people were so nice. If these people are watching, thank you so much. I cannot tell you how grateful we are for you, because you literally saved our day. That night we towed our car to a local mechanic. The next day, the mechanic looked at the car and they decided that the radiator needed to be replaced. Kyle and I didn't really have any money to fix it, so we had to take out a credit card through that mechanic to get it fixed. We fixed the car. I take the car, I'm driving with my aunt, and it overheats again. Liquid spewing everywhere. Life is lit. I feel like the world is crashing down on me. And I just feel so discouraged because I'm like, you guys, we just spent $600 something to get this fixed, and it's not fixed. We took the car back again, and they're like, okay, it's the thermostat. I'm like, okay, cool. Fix it. Just fix the problem. They fixed the problem. Then I was sitting in the car a few days later, waiting on a client for, what am I trying to say? Waiting on a client to take pictures, and the car starts to overheat. I'm like, you've got to be joking. I call Kyle and I'm like, the car just overheated again. He's like, ugh, this sucks. And I'm like, I know. Kyle and his co-worker, who is a retired diesel mechanic, look at the car and they decide that they need to change the spark plugs. Maybe that would help. Kyle fixes the spark plugs and it's fine. A few days later, we were driving the car from his parents to our house, which is like a 10-minute drive, and our car started to overheat. We were like, seriously? This is so stupid. And so this is all happening with the car I'm saving my money for this camera that I've been wanting forever. We're like, boo. Around this time, I got a message from somebody wanting me to take pictures for their wedding. And I was like, are you joking me? Like, this would be perfect. Like, I could make all the money that I need for my camera in one day. It was literally perfect. So I was like, frick yeah, I'll do that. I do the wedding and everything and I get the money. I just kept feeling like God was telling me that I needed to put the money that I made from the wedding and everything into the debt that we just accumulated with the car. It was really frustrating. It was like so frustrating because it just wasn't fair. I'm like, God, this just is not fair. Like, it is not my fault that our car has broke down. It's not my fault that we've had to put all this money into it. Why do I have to use my hard-earned money that I have been saving for this daggum camera into this stupid car that has given us so much freaking crap? Like, I am just so done with it at this point. But I listened. I was like, okay, I will listen. If you really think that I need to put all my money that I just made into this stupid car, then I will. The Sunday before I paid it off, I had to give a talk at church. In my talk, I basically went over this whole story that I'm talking about with you guys. It was about faith and having faith that everything will work out. After my talk, later in that day, our bishop pulled me and Kyle aside and he said, hey, like, there was this guy that was visiting and he really wanted me to give you this. Said to put it towards your camera fund. And he handed us a wad of cash. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, are you serious? We were so grateful and we just kept saying thank you, like, thank you, thank you. I told the bishop, I was like, please tell this guy thank you. And he said, well, I'll probably never see him again because he was visiting. Kyle and I were just like so humbled. I didn't want to count it there, of course, but we got to the car and the random stranger gave us $200. Like, that was such a blessing. That kind of gave us a little boost. We decided that we were going to take the car back to the mechanic and be like, listen up. We have given you guys so much money to fix this problem and the problem's not fixed. Please look at this and tell us what's wrong. Turns out that there was a crack in the head gasket. The mechanic told us that we have a few options. One, we could replace the head gaskets and that would be about $3 grand. We could get a new engine, which would range from about $800 to $2,000. No thanks. We could get a new car. Or we could try this stuff called Blue Devil liquid glass for like 60 bucks. And it has done miracles before. So we're like, sure, let's try it. It's 60 bucks. Let's just do it. Last Saturday, Kyle spent the day doing this thing. It took 6 hours because you have to do it step by step. He did it. You guys, our car is fixed. It doesn't smell like oil anymore. It hasn't been overheating. We can actually use our air conditioner, which I didn't mention before. We weren't able to use our air conditioner for like half of July and all of August. It's like the hottest part of freaking summer and we were having to roll down our windows. It was so hot, you guys. But now our AC works. It's not overheating. It's like completely fixed. Kyle completely fixed our car. It's such a miracle. It was such a blessing. That was a really long story, but it had to be told. We've had so many blessings. That stranger that gave us cash, who doesn't even know us, that was such a blessing. And it just strengthens my faith because I followed my gut and knowing that the Spirit was telling me that I needed to pay off our debt instead of buy a camera. And because of that, we were blessed by a random stranger who we probably may never meet. Then we fixed our car for $60. Like, it's completely fixed. It's as if it had never been broken. Life is pretty good over in the Knudsen house. We're super excited for these blessings. I'm recording this on my iPhone and it's fine. It's not even a problem other than my child yelling at me every 5 seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope that you liked this video. If you guys did like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos. And if you want, hit the little bell on the side, and that will notify you whenever we get a new video up. And comment down below and let me know what's a blessing that you've been blessed with recently. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and a wonderful week, and we will see you guys in the next video.